Joe Rogan recently picked up on something in 50 Cent's documentary that most people completely missed. Once you put all the pieces together, it becomes clear that this story isn't only about Diddy. With Season 2 of 50's series now announced, a lot of powerful figures in the industry are starting to get nervous. In this video, we're going to break down every name Joe mentioned and expose the high-level figures tied to these accusations, starting with Diddy and moving all the way up the ladder.
There's also like people that are elites, and that's their thing. Like their thing is to do something that is horrible, and it's not available to other people. So it's like, I think there's like a sickness that people have when they have power, like extreme power, and then what else can I do? What else can I do? What else is what else is taboo? What else is forbidden? Like all this Diddy out. Like,
I was just gonna say, doesn't that sound topical?
Jesus Christ! The first day of the trial, did you pay attention to any of that stuff? I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, and I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this.
Well, what freaks me out is the people sitting in the courtroom listening to it.
Right.
And there's a wide spectrum of people that are getting subjected to it, and you just sit there and go,
yeah. Well, not only that, how about the fact that this guy was running this for decades? He was doing this for decades to who knows how many fucking people, and everybody was scared to talk about it because he'd have them killed.
What most people don't understand is just how much influence Diddy really had and who he was connected to. If you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you realize he wasn't just another music executive. He had direct links to some of the most powerful people in the world across different countries. 3 U.S. presidents and vice presidents, including Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Kamala Harris, were all photographed at his parties. He even had ties to the British royal family.
Not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool. And I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
wearing a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
The guy's good. The guy's good, y'all. Let's give it up for him.
I appreciate you guys.
Peace.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Well, not anymore. After more than a year in prison, Diddy has asked the White House for a pardon, and Donald Trump is shutting him down.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Yeah, that's according to the president himself, who spoke to the New York Times on Wednesday, explaining the request came in a letter. Details of the alleged letter haven't been divulged, but Trump did say he's not planning to commute the mogul sentence. He didn't say why, but it's a move the president has been thinking about for months. Here's what he told reporters during Diddy's marathon trial in May.
He used to really like me a lot. I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
News of the rejected pardon coming about a month after Diddy's legal team filed to appeal his sentence and conviction.
Diddy's relationships with all these powerful figures were not random. The claim is that he was gathering leverage so he could use it against them later. One name that keeps coming up in these conversations is Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted trafficker. Both Epstein and Diddy were connected to the same elite circles, yet when trials happened, no one else ever seemed to be called out. So the question becomes, if Diddy was hosting these elite parties, how was he the only one blamed? Who were Epstein and Diddy really working with, or even working for?
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get
think he's saying though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's... A lot of it is...
but then it's just another Epstein.
There's
it's Ghislaine Maxwell, where there's somebody indicted and nobody else... They indicted for kids to...
Right,
no
to no one. Right. What is the next crazy thing that's going to explode in the news? Is Bill Clinton's going to have an OnlyFans? Like, what is going to happen? What is the next thing that's going to make us all go, what the f***? Like, what the f*** is going on?
It's coming. You know,
how many guys were on video saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party"? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron,
yeah. How Ashton Kutcher? All these people, like you guys all went. You didn't see nothing. He didn't say nothing?
Yeah.
These claims aren't new or pulled out of thin air. For years, people have whispered that Diddy was acting as an informant, using his position to gather information. Suge Knight, who has been locked up for years, has said that everyone on the streets believed Diddy was a snitch. He said Diddy's strange behavior, including drugging people and pushing them to reveal things, made it obvious something wasn't right.
How does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. So the reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, you know? And as you know, all these people get tired of it.
And this is just scratching the surface. The person who stayed closest to Diddy for most of his career was his former bodyguard, Gene Deal. He says he personally watched Diddy deal directly with government officials. According to Gene, Diddy was working as a confidential informant for the federal government. That's where his confidence came from. He wasn't protected because he was famous. He was protected because he was useful. As long as he kept feeding information to the feds, they had no reason to go after him. That's what people miss. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein weren't just criminals acting on their own. They were working for someone else.
They'll let you do crimes as long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect them. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
Joe Rogan explained what he believes Diddy's entire strategy was. After watching 50 Cent's documentary, everything suddenly clicked for him. Some of the victims in Diddy's case gave sworn statements saying other people were present during his freak-offs, yet no one else was ever named in court. How does that happen? Joe noticed it was the same kind of pattern he saw in the Epstein case, almost identical in every way.
Was Rogue or Diddy was like Epstein type? It's working for somebody.
That's a good question. Well, it would be a great way to compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know, if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine. Yeah. This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Oh, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed. And then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mollied up. You don't know what the f*** you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
Crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just one evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Yeah.
He seems pretty diabolical.
He's probably working with somebody. for somebody.
This is where things turn even darker. Diddy wasn't just collecting dirt on people. He was also accused of being involved in killings and getting people eliminated. When he couldn't control someone through blackmail, the claim is that he turned to violence instead. The evidence 50 Cent shared in his documentary is used to back this up. The cases of Tupac and Biggie are pointed to as the clearest examples.
Also, that's like, there was always so much East Coast, West Coast that's still like in the zeitgeist, you know, like with Biggie and Tupac, and they're all hating at each other, and they both got. There was a lot going on, and then there's people that thought that Puffy was involved and Suge Knight was involved.
I think Suge Knight's the one who said the thing I just thought of.
What thing?
About that they were there to delete stuff.
Well, if he really was filming everybody,
let me see.
I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said Luke from 2 Live Crew?
Yeah, he said he was to leave early.
Yeah. When Luke from 2 Live Crew is leaving early, like, you got a wild party. What if what's happening is too f***ed up for Luke from 2 Live Crew? Check, please. There's so many different stories. Who knows?
Diddy allegedly warned Tupac and even ordered hits on him twice. The first attempt happened nearly 2 years before Tupac was killed. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac was ambushed and shot several times in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan as he arrived for a late-night session. Police called it a robbery, but none of Tupac's jewelry was taken. Later, Tupac said in an interview that he believed Diddy was behind the attack. And if someone gets shot but nothing is stolen, that doesn't look like a robbery at all. It looks like a planned hit. Diddy was sending a message, cross me, and this is what happens. Diddy walking away from that shooting without any consequences only reinforced that idea. It was like he was saying, nothing can touch me. Sadly, that turned out to be true. Almost 2 years later, on September 13th, 1996, Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. That moment changed hip-hop forever and opened the door for Diddy to gain even more power.
I think my favorite thing about 50 Cent's Netflix Diddy documentary is how he built a timeline off of this information. And one of my favorite parts of this documentary is them really getting into the timeline of events when it comes to Tupac and Biggie. And it really gives us a lot of perspective from people that were close to the situation. And a lot of people allege in this documentary that they believe that Diddy was very jealous of Tupac. And they pretty much go through everything from the quad incident and Tupac believing that Puffy was behind it, like he said in the Vibe interview, and they lay out this whole timeline of the downfall happening perfectly, in my opinion. We are even hearing from Greg Kading, the detective that worked on Tupac and Biggie's case in this documentary. He is the investigator that did that proffer agreement with Keefe D way back in 2008, where Keefe D alleged that Diddy tried to offer him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. And Tupac's trial with Keefe D is coming up very soon in early 2026. And we know that Diddy's name has been dropped at least 200 times during these proceedings already. So this is one case that I am definitely waiting for and I am going to cover. In Keefe D's 2008 proffer agreement, he alleged that Diddy's friend Zip Martin is the one that gave him the weapon that was used to take out Tupac. And Keefe D told the investigator Greg Kading that Zip Martin had a special compartment to keep this weapon in his car that he drove to Las Vegas. And in this documentary, we have Greg Kading confirming that Zip Martin did drive the same type of vehicle that Keefe D alleged to Las Vegas this night. And then during this documentary, we heard from the former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, who alleged during this time, Diddy had him hiring a whole bunch of people and getting cars to drive to Las Vegas. And he is now very curious into why Diddy wanted to do this. And he said in his opinion, he now believes that Diddy was behind taking out
50 Cent's documentary gave Joe Rogan more than just rumors. It included witness statements and video footage that even law enforcement never had. Now, a new investigation into Tupac's murder has begun. Tupac's family hired attorney Alex Spiro to review the allegations and the footage. One of the original officers on the Tupac case also spoke up and said they expect a full investigation to be reopened.
We are following new developments developments in the case of the hip-hop mogul who is facing RICO charges in New York, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the murder of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information to come on that one.
I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, no matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick, because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
Jaguar Wright, who has long been connected to both Jay-Z and Diddy, finally said what many people were afraid to say. She claimed Diddy's famous friends and political allies have all abandoned him. At this point, he's being used as a fall guy for the entire entertainment industry. Everyone else is pointing fingers at him while pretending they had nothing to do with it. Now Diddy stands alone, and his career is finished.
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it. Blame it all on Diddy. And the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. My thing is So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak off.
There's also a deeper spiritual angle to all of this. The elites involved are said to be addicted to control and enjoy humiliating others. According to this view, Diddy represented pure evil.
Yeah, it's really wild, man. Evil is a real thing, Nobody wants to believe. Because if you believe in the devil, right? If you believe in Satan, you believe in something that's silly. Like most people a lot of people believe in God. If you ask people, do you believe in God? Yeah, well, I'm not religious, but I believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in the devil? Most people will say no. But do you believe in evil acts? Well, yeah, people certainly do evil things. Well, where do you think that comes from? If evil is real, what is it about us that makes us want to deny the possibility that there's some nefarious force that is in human beings, that influences human beings? It's not as simple as like some people are bad, some people are good. No, maybe evil is a real element that you have to fight in life, and that maybe this is just something that's been documented all throughout history, but our arrogance and our secular society wants to keep us from recognizing that as an actual factor, and that's why it gets through.
Joe Rogan didn't just analyze Diddy's case. He revealed a larger pattern, and once 50 Cent's documentary laid everything out, it became clear this story is about much more than just one man. The big question now is, who will be exposed next? If you want more stories like this that dig deeper than the headlines, make sure you subscribe to Haley Reporter.